if that makes sense. But again, that one I'm still, like, it doesn't matter to me. I used to care so much about that, and I just go, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Like, so I'm not going to say that's, like, an absolute, but that was, like, my newest, like, idea that I got about it. And I'm like, oh, damn, because I used to be deep into the alien shit. You don't really feel like preaching is this by you, by definition, are preaching. Okay, then I'm preaching. Cool. You're totally, you know, people are so funny. Then don't be on my live. Human species, okay, well, that's another story that they told you. That human species are thousands of years behind in technology. It's not true. We're constantly inventing new technology and ideas. That's why we're so watched. Like, actually, they just found a civilization that's older than the Sumerians, and they had access to lots of technology. Even the Egyptians had access to a lot of technology. And according to us, they're more Neanderthal than us because they're in the past. So that's a story. That's not real. They want you to think that because it limits you. You are human. We are human. The more we subscribe to these stories that we don't want to be human, or it's like an embarrassment, or that we're idiots and this and that. Don't get me wrong. I do think people are idiots, but I don't think it's the human being's fault. I think it's that we are programmed, and like our brains are idiots in a way. Like, we don't know our true potential. That's where the idiot, like, where people can act like an idiot, but we're not actually idiots. Not at least the body, the vehicle. This is probably one of the highest forms of technology ever, the physical body. You can heal yourself. There's so many things. The conduit. If time doesn't exist, maybe then cavemen were as smart as us. Well, as we progress, they progress. So it's like we're all connected. That's why your ancestors and stuff are so important, because it's not just your past ancestors, your future. So when you're constantly cultivating this space of doing work and you're mindful and you're thinking about sending it to all versions of you through time and space, because that's what I do, it's like all of you are uplifting. All of you, you're working in communion. It's like a network, just like mycelium, mushrooms. They're literally in a network, and they all communicate with each other through the ground. That's already fact. We're the same thing. Most of us are actually made up of like 40% fungi. We have the mind of God, and that's why it has been hijacked. And they hide a lot of technology. We're not ready for it. And the people who run the world are the motherfuckers who don't want us to have it, because then they would literally, like, it's accessible to everyone. So they find this technology and they figure out a way to use the same technology but make it look so physical, like in they make it look like you have to go to a doctor. You have to be in a special place to have like this machine. And they turn the natural technology that we have through the power of this, just like we all can be telepathic, but they make it through a machine so that we rely on the machine and we don't learn how to rely on ourselves. We don't know how to grow food. They're taking up all the land, because then we won't rely on ourselves and we'll be so like servants to a system, to the machine, literally. But you don't need to be. You can heal yourself. You can do all these things. You can make your own fucking toothpaste. You can make everything. All of your necessities you can make at home. Mankind, we aren't advancing. Because it's rigged. The system is rigged against us, in a way. But it's a good test, because at the end of the day, it's not about what's going on here right now. It's about the ones who will choose to rise against that whole ideology, because it changes your DNA, changes your genetic like structure, and that DNA will be harvested and taken, your ancestors, and reseeded to hopefully make a better, more evolved human. So it's nothing that's going on right now. We're talking like lifetimes ahead, because there's no time in this quantum space, and that's what we're moving towards. So it's about who's changing their DNA, who's doing this, who's activating their 12 strand and doing all of these things. Cavemen were like babies because they didn't have language yet, right? They didn't know how to express everything that was going on in here. They didn't know how to bring that to life through the breath, through the word, right? So as soon as language was created, huge like things, just like the internet, as soon as this kind of like communication was created, huge jump, quantum leap, basically. Like now all information, and then it gets corrupted and it gets distorted. right? And that's why sometimes it's so important to keep information so sacred. Like if something happens for you, have you ever heard like don't tell people yet? Like fully anchor into it before anybody comes in. It gets you to doubt yourself, right? Even your own mind. Anchor into your moment before you share. Because that's the problem with all these sacred teachings. That's the problem with the Bible. Someone gets their hands on it, they feel enlightened, then everybody has something to say.